progress. All right, so everyone, welcome to this session of the last requirement. We've not even started though, just wanted to go through the requirements because each time you hear PCI DSS, they will tell you 12 requirements being split into 6 goals, right? I will have maintain an information security policy. Requirement 12, maintain information security policy for all personnel. And you guys, everything that we've discussed so far, doors here, because without information policy, you wouldn't know what you have. And the information policy, as I tell you, oh, take it from me, believe me or not, without information policy, the organization cannot even exist because how are you able to even communicate governance objective or what they want in place, right? Or your security controls. How are you able to tell what do you have in place? Remember, we've talked of all these other the networking, the different segmentation, what you need to have, web server, all those things, the different port protocols. Without policy, you can't even tell what you have. And that's why security policy is a must. And you guys know we have a wonderful videos, actually 2 videos that show you all how you can develop security policy for free on YouTube, right? It said this requirement of the PCI DSS requirement focuses on ensuring that organization maintain a formal information security policy that applies to all personnel within the organization and involve the creation, implementation, and ongoing maintenance of security policies that educate and direct personnel on security expectation and guidelines. And in terms of security, of course, security definitely manage and keep this policy. So if you are reading there or you are coordinating, you need to make sure these policies are being reviewed and updated annually on a regular basis. Then you should be able to at least understand what you have on your policy, right? And that's why the policy set a foundation for the organization security effort and outline the key areas of security that all employees and stakeholders must follow. For example, the policy should address areas such as data handling and protection, access control measures, incident response, we spoke on that already, monitoring of system and data usage, responsibilities, and behavioral expectation from employee in terms of security. So organizations should be able to have this policy that literally defines what they do, right? For example, let's talk about the user awareness training. As a matter of fact, I spoke with a friend who got a part-time job somewhere. He works already, he's actually a professor. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to awareness training, and that's a state mandatory. It's mandatory by the state. And I have to tell him, like, not really. It also depends on the information system that you are a user, being a front-end user. So maybe that's something that is a required is actually a requirement for that system, right? Especially all awareness training, and that's why you are taking it. It's not like the state, but fair enough, most state actually adheres to NIST standards, So if they are to NIST standard, and then most importantly is that system. So for that system, you guys will have to do the controls and to get the training, right? For example, say personnel at all levels of the organization needs to be educated about the policy. This include new hires. You realize each time you get your job, you need to take that training. You need to understand your organization policy, right? So you take it, and even when after like every year, you still have to retake the training just to understand yourself about understand the organization policy. And not even is also inclusive of employees, contractors, or even temporary staff. And then communication policy should be communicated effectively to personnel. This can be done via emails, training section, onboarding materials, and periodic reminders. You see, and governance will also need to make sure that employees really understand what they have in place to achieve organization's objective. Acknowledgement, employees may need to acknowledge that they read and understood the policy, right? For example, ongoing review policy should not be static. It needs to be reviewed and updated regularly to stay aligned with emerging threats, changes in business operation, or modification in security regulations. And of course, as I said, security, when we are making a claim, as a GRC analyst, we said that we review and update security policy. These are some of the things that we are talking about. Adjustment of compliance, changes in PCI DSS or other regulatory standard may require the policy to be adjusted to maintain compliance, right? Incident response and procedure. Think of all the fact that who have the best controls, best system, best networking. We've measured everything has happened. We keep testing, updating antivirus software, the most current. That doesn't mean that stuff will not happen. That doesn't mean that again, vulnerabilities or hackers cannot exploit certain vulnerabilities that you guys that might go unnoticed. And that's why we also have the incident response. We go through the process of identification, detection, and the like, confinement, recovery, and all those things. So likewise, incident response is one of it's an important family, let me put it like that, because even when something happened, how are we able to recover from it, right? Are we just scattered? We don't even know how to go about it. And that's why you start hearing of all this simulation, phishing simulation, or whatever kind of simulation that the organization will go with. Even penetration testing, that's something that we cover. They'll do that simulation to scan to see, because if an actual accident does occur, how are you going to recover from it, right? And my last role as a manager, being a software development company. So I did work with them. I was not doing phishing because they were really advanced users. I already know about some of this social engineering. So I throw a scenario like, say, we have one of our primary site that got burned. There's fire that destroyed, for example, California, they had fire, right? We are going with AWS. What if AWS infrastructure, everything is burned, that everything goes down? That's where our data is being housed. How do you guys intend to recover to the secondary site? So that is a simulation. We will actually did a tabletop exercise. So with tabletop, it's just like tabletop, just a talk on the table. And you are weighing, you are buying, and you are seeing if objectives are being met. Would it be somebody say, no, somebody take it to step 20. Somebody say, no, I think let's go to step one. Somebody say, no, let's go to step, no, we are supposed to do this. And then you realize that maybe you put 1 hour to see if that's something they're going to do. At the end of the day, you guys did not come to any agreement. They are so confused. And that's where you want to enforce that, to make sure that the respective personnel, point of contacts or team eventually knows. Because if the actual incident occurred, it's not like you're going to have something, but how do you take care of it, right? And that's why I say clearly defines how employees should respond in case of security incidents such as a data breach or malware effect. For example, if you also receive a phishing email, click on that email, provide your username or your password, and you just stay quietly. What if you have installed some form of malicious code, And that's where what I've taken an awareness in a training, and he said, yeah, it's something like that happened. I need to send an email to the incident response team. I need to let them know that way they can investigate it. Does your employees even know how to report phishing emails? That's a question for you as a GRC analyst. Yeah, enforcement, and it's not just all about having this policy, but is it being enforced, right? There must be clear consequences for violation of the information security policies. This enforces accountability and ensure that employees understand the importance of following policy. Monitoring and continuous improvement. The organization should monitor the effectiveness of the information security policy and improve it based on feedback, audits, or incident. This ensures that the policy involves to meet the organization changing need and security challenges, right? For example, imagine a company that processes payment through a website. The information security policy for all personnel might include data protection, access control, incident response. We're not going to read about it because I believe as of now we already have um, we already know what this entails, right? And that's we've covered all the requirement. Now we are about to start PCI DSS training, right? Yes, I took that approach. Let's even understand we have the 12 requirement and everything. Now let's talk about PCI DSS training. So please fasten your seatbelt, and the plane or the car is about to board. So I'll see you all in the next video. And remember, do not forget, I only appreciate you all. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to put your comments, your questions, in the comment section. I will see you all in the next video.